Happy Thanksgiving, everyone, from everyone here at 2K Sports. With Doris Burke, Clark Kellogg, and Steve Kerr, this is Kevin Harlan. Nothing like the NBA for Turkey Day. Jazz fans are making noise here at Energy Solutions Arena. We're in Salt Lake City, Utah. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Burke?
Well, he's really a do-it-all point guard offensively. He can shoot from the outside, penetrate, makes good decisions, whether on the drive and kick or in the pick and roll.
Yeah, I like him because of his shooting ability and his smarts. He's a guy who thinks the game. He's more athletic than you think. He has tremendous ability to shoot it off the dribble, and that makes it tough to deal with him, especially when he's involved in pick and rolls. And he does a nice job of keeping defenses off balance.
Taking a look at Phoenix. They're hoping they can carry over some of that momentum from their undefeated homestand.
Well, right now for the Suns, they've made some real strides here in this young season, moving solidly into the playoff picture.
And for a team that had been among the league's worst last season, that's an impressive accomplishment, Clark. The question is, can they continue with their momentum?
Now, here's Burke after the miss from Gortat. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Trey Burke, the National College Player of the Year at Michigan last season. He led the Wolverines in points, assists, steals, and blocks even. And, of course, led them all the way to the NCAA championship game. He's basically a winner. That's what he is.
That's good from Burke. And Burke declaring for the draft, Clark, after his sophomore season in Michigan.
Yeah, he was driven to be an outstanding player coming out of high school. A little under the radar as a high school player, but had a laser focus on developing and maximizing his ability. Spent 5 to 6 hours a day in the gym over the summers, and you've seen the fruit of that work.
He hits both from the stripe.
And what you like with Trey Burke, he really can do it all at the point guard position. Pass, shoot, he's very poised, under control, and a good leader as well.
Now here's Dragic. Right now averaging 17 points a game. Another miss by Gortat. Burks kicks to Burke. It's stolen by Dragic. Bledsoe kicks to Dragic. And there's the rejection. Now here's Burke. Defense right on him. Six to shoot. Here's Burks. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Burks has got his first basket. And back to Burke at 6'1", not elite size or great athleticism, Clark, for the point guard position, some say.
But he makes up for that lack of size and athleticism with smarts and a desire to get better and a really excellent shooting stroke. So I think when you look at Burke, he's a guy that's going to continue to get better.
Here's Burke after Caron Butler's bucket. Burke, the pass to Burks. Favors, defended by Morris. Fades and shoots. That's good. 1:51 left in the first quarter of the game. Here's Bledsoe, averaging 20 points per game. Butler dishes to Gortat. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, after a breakout 2012, Marcin Gortat came back to earth last season. I mean, it had to be harder for him without Steve Nash setting the table. That's a no-brainer, and with the team as a whole struggling, his play slipped as well.
The first free throw is good. And for Gortat last season, his scoring, Steve, his rebounding, and his field goal percentages all down.
Well, no coincidence. Steve Nash left last year. He used to set the table for Gortat. So we'll see if he can bounce back. Still just 29 years old, but very talented. He should have some prime years ahead.
He's off on the second.
Well, you know, the Suns dropped from being a team that could fight for a playoff spot to the cellar of the West last season, and much of that you could attribute to how much they struggled on the road.
Now here's Burke. 14 points from him the last game against Chicago. Well, the Suns did have a lot of trouble on the road, as you were saying, Clark. Only managed to win 8 games as the visiting team. Steve, the entire season. That's not good.
Well, 8 wins is unacceptable, and it actually tied the Suns with the Kings for the fewest road wins in the entire conference. So, look, this is a young team. They have a lot of learning to do. They've got to add talent. I think the rebuilding project has started, and they're going to get better, but it's still going to take some time.
Well, really a promising young roster for the Utah Jazz team, guys. A lot of blue-chip talent there. I think in a couple of years, this team has a chance to be one of the best in the West.
Lenz checked in for Phoenix. Marcus Morris comes in for Caron Butler. And Burks hits 2 free throws. And you got to give this Utah front office a lot of credit. You're right, Clark. They've only missed the playoffs 5 times in the last 30 seasons. Steve, that is a remarkable run.
What I like about Utah, too, Kevin, is that they seem to stay ahead of the curve. They make moves while they still have leverage. Dealing Carlos Boozer, Kirilenko, Darren Williams. So they've done a good job of getting value, getting assets, and continuing to look ahead.
Marshall gets a screen from Len. There's 42 seconds left in the first. Here's Beasley, and it's Phoenix scoring again. So it's the Jazz now. It's a 3-point game. The Suns beat them last time these two teams met in Phoenix.
That was a pretty close game the first time they met, but the mistakes cost them. They were very careless with the ball. They're going to have to take care of it tonight.
Utah shooting their 5th and 6 free throws of the game.
Well, it hasn't come together for them at the charity stripe at all this year. They're at just 70% as a team.
Guys, we haven't seen the type of numbers out of them at the line that we'd come to expect, especially after last season.
And Utah making a change here. Rush is checked in. Both free throws good from Lucas. Just over 3.5 minutes gone here in the first. And Marshall kicks to Green. Marshall. The dish to Morris. Passes to Marshall. Now the feed to Morris. And the 3 ball is good. Morris has got himself on the board with 3 there. And Utah has possession. This game coming on the heels of their win against Chicago.
And after that game, you look at the box score. Wow, look at the work they did at the free throw line, Clark.
And just as solid was the work they did to get to the line, Steve. Constantly driving the lane, putting pressure on defenders, and drawing fouls.
A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Utah out in front. They're up by 2. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City.
This Saturday, November 30th,
Thanks for joining us in this Thanksgiving presentation of the NBA. And taking a look at the Jazz performance here, Clark, Steve, what have you been seeing? What have they been doing or not doing?
Now, the key has been the rebounding department. This club dominating the paint area. And if this continues, they'll be in great shape.
Well, they've done 2 things. They've limited second chances, and they've been able to flex their muscle down low. Well, you know, I tell you what, guys, it's a tough road to hoe when you're trying to rebuild in the Western Conference. There's just no room or margin for error, and teams pile on while you're down.
Marvin Williams is out there with Rush. Then it's John Lucas. Then it's Jeremy Evans. And it's Burks in a 2-guard. That's the group for Utah getting going here in the second. Green kicks to Marshall. Back to Green. 3-pointer. Offensive rebound. Marshall sets a screen for Green. He passes to Len. He kicks it to Morris. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. And back to the Suns in the West. They did finish with the worst record in the conference. They managed only 17 wins, Steve, against other teams in the West.
And that wasn't the worst mark, but it was close. The Suns' problem was that they didn't have a huge inside presence for long stretches of the season. And when you lack depth against teams with tough power forwards or centers out west, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
And he can't get the first one.
You know, guys, even though the Jazz have been a team that's been over 500 for the last few years now, they've not been able to really make up any ground in that tough Western Conference. And part of it is because they lack a go-to scorer.
Andres Biedrins, who's checked in for Jeremy Evans. Good on the second free throw. But for the Jazz, they had the size and strength to compete with teams in the West the last few years. But since Darren Williams left, they have been searching for someone that can carry the offensive load late in games.
And that's exactly why they decided to trade on draft night for Trey Burke, the Michigan point guard. And, you know, when you don't have a player who can kind of set the offense up, it's really difficult to get your offense going. That's why they've been down ever since Williams left.
Okay, well, let's check in with Doris Burke reporting from our sideline in this game. Doris, take it away.
Well, guys, Trey Burke was last season's College Player of the Year out of the University of Michigan. He may have been a little disappointed he wasn't picked by the nearby Detroit Pistons, but he was taken a pick later and eventually acquired by the Utah Jazz in exchange for their 14th and 21st picks. Burke said, "I just wanted to go somewhere where I had an opportunity to play right away and make an impact." Guys, he has that in Utah on an organization that's been one of the most winning in NBA history.
A lot for a player his age to carry, but he seems like he's ready. Thanks, Doris. No good from Beasley.
Well, you know, Jeff Hornacek, the new coach of the Phoenix Suns, a 14-year career as an NBA shooting guard, and he was terrific as a player. Spent his first 6 in Phoenix and only recently really got into coaching, starting as an assistant with the Jazz in early 2011.
And Green gets it to go. Green's got his first basket of the night.
You know, with that much of a height advantage, that's exactly what you should do. Take it straight to the rim.
Lucas kicks to Burks, and Williams backs in. The 11-footer can't hit, so Phoenix will take it the other way. And back to Coach Hornacek, the 16th coach in Suns franchise history. He's raised his 3 kids in Phoenix. Stevie's put down roots there. Looks like he would like to stay for the long term.
Well, he was a tremendous player for the Suns back during the prime of his career. So this is a great fit, coaching the Suns. A guy who played the game with tremendous intelligence and an even-keeled demeanor. Should serve him well as a head coach.
Biedrins. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is. And so they will award the basket there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
And Phoenix making a change here. Gortat's checked in. And here in the second quarter of action with a hair under 2.5 minutes played so far.
It's been several years now since Andres Biedrins looked like he even wanted to be on the basketball court. But last year he said he did some mental rehab before the season and he's looking for a fresh start. And I think it showed.
But you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Utah leading. And for those of you just joining us in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. Rush the pass to Biedrins. 5 to shoot. The Jazz need to get off a shot here. Here's Rush, and they force the shot clock violation. Great team.
A chance here, Kevin, to take a look at the Suns and how they rank in the NBA right now. 7th in steals, 9th in shooting percentage. And they're in the top 3rd in the league in blocks. They're a team that really doesn't give many good looks.
What they try to do, Clark, is pressure the ball. I mean, you talked about the steals per game, and that's the key number of all those stats. They pressure the ball. They really create havoc for the offense. And when they take you out of the flow of your offense, it really makes the ball stop, and the game becomes very difficult for the offensive team.
And for Biedrins, Steve, he admitted that he'd suffered from some confidence issues.
Well, anytime a player loses his confidence at the free throw line, particularly a big guy, it changes the way you play. Now you don't want to attack. You don't really want to aggressively go after the ball because you're afraid of being at that foul line. So a situation like this, you can understand how he could lose some of that enthusiasm for the game.
Marcus Morris is checked in for Gerald Green. And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time.
You know, Marcin Gortat, since he was traded from Orlando to Phoenix, has developed into one of the best centers in the league. He can finish at the rim with either hand. He can step out and make a jump shot. He can pass the ball. Playing awfully well.
It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Bledsoe kicks to Morris. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Morris has got 4 points this quarter.
You know, the defense didn't exactly try to fight around that screen, and that's why it turned into the easy basket.
Lucas off a pick from Cantor. Now, here's Burks, defended by Bledsoe. Here's Cantor. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That's on Marcin Gortat. The Jazz shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight. And he makes the first. The Suns making a change here. And Cantor drops them both. From half court, no luck. And the first half ends in a close one. Jazz lead by 2. And coming up after the break, it'll be Damon Bruce breaking down all the highlights from the first half of play.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
We've got a feat.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And we welcome you back to start the quarter. Players had a chance to get hydrated with Gatorade. And there's certain to be some great basketball ahead for us. You have to like what we're seeing from Lucas.
Isn't it funny? It's not always the guy you'd expect to come through with the big plays in the big game.
Yeah, he's really been a difference maker. You're right, Steve. Sometimes it is that unknown X factor, and today he's proven it.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the court for the Suns, Markieff Morris and Marcin Gortat are down low. Bledsoe is out there with Dragic, and it's Butler in at the 3. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Gentlemen, a talented young front court duo for the Jazz in Derek Favors and Enes Kanter. This summer, they worked out with Jazz legend Karl Malone, one of the all-time great power forwards in NBA history. Whether it was positioning and a technical trick or just the mental aspects of taking on a star role, guys, you couldn't ask for a better teacher.
No question he can help. Thanks, Doris. Timeout called. The Suns, fresh from a win against Portland.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
I agree with you. I mean, it was really shocking how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Let's take a look at some of Derek Favors' numbers. He's been having a nice year, 13th in rebounding. And he's been using his size and quickness to great effect defensively. He's in the top 20 in the league in blocks per game.
And, you know, just to touch on that rebounding average again, Steve, I mean, he's a gritty player in the paint. Sandpaper-like. I mean, just makes it tough on other people. There's not much more than you can ask of him in that area.
There it is, guys, that Olay defense. Just watching him go, Clark, right by.
I think we might be seeing which team is ready to take control of this game.
Yeah, that's a dunk that could absolutely get them going. I agree, Clark.
Timeout is called, first of the game for the Jazz.
Well, guys, Goran Dragic signed to a big 4-year contract by the Phoenix Suns last season. Really has played well. He's crafty, he's clever, he's got good size, can finish at the basket, and also can shoot the 3. He's a lot of fun to watch.
Utah leading by 4. Right around a minute and a half played here in the third quarter. Now here's Burke. He's guarded by Dragic. And that one's good. Burke And Dragic actually drafted by the Suns back in 2008 with a second-round pick. And, Steve, you know a little bit about him. They had the good sense to bring him back.
I did draft him, Kevin, and a guy we liked for a long time before that draft. He's turned into an excellent player. The Suns brought him back after losing Steve Nash. And for a team looking to build and go young, he's been a good fit.
Now, here's Burke. He's guarded by Dragic. It's stolen by Dragic. By himself, throws down the breakaway jam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
It feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
You know, when you're one of the worst teams in the league, you have a lot of problems. And for the Suns, one of their biggest problems was that opponents shot very close to 40% against them from behind the arc. And that's just not a winning number.
Here's Favors. No good. Excellent D there from Morris. And now here's Dragic.
Oh, man, what a play. They have finally fought all the way back to even the score. We're back to square one, whole new ball game.
And with a comeback like that, they've definitely got the upper hand going forward.
Phoenix making some changes. Jeremy Evans checks in for Favors. And Marvin Williams subbed in for Alec Burks.
Yeah, especially at the defensive end of the floor, Kevin. Let's see how many times he steps into a passing lane and comes up with a steal tonight, because he is just a major force at that end of the court.
He's one of the tougher players you'll ever see. Sometimes he comes away from games pretty banged up, but you'll never hear him complain about it or let it affect his performance. Boy, the D has to show a little more fight on the interior than they did on that trip. They've got a battle inside.
Well, this game has been tough, Clark. I mean, they're getting after it, and I think they're starting to run a little bit low on energy, possibly.
Beasley kicks to Morris. Drops in the tray. Morris has got 10 points in the game.
Beautiful feed off the bounce to his teammate there. Nicely done.
Now here's Burke. Not a lot of room. It counts, and the foul. That's on Goran Dragic.
He's one of the best in the league at that. Even with just a tiny sliver, he always seems to find a way to get it up and in.
The Jazz have been at their finest form at the free throw line tonight. 8 attempts, 8 makes. And Utah making a change here. Favors is checked in. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. Feeds to Beasley. Beasley left side. Bledsoe kicks to Dragic. Back to Bledsoe. Some nice ball movement here by the Suns. No good from Beasley. And here is Williams. Pass to Burke. From deep. And it would have counted had it fallen, but it's offline. And we just finished the third quarter, and we've got a tight ball game here. Jazz out in front. They're up by 1. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City.
Next Tuesday, December 3rd, the Detroit Pistons.
We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The fourth quarter of action getting started. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Jazz.
Fellas, it's impossible to ignore what a good job they've done at the free throw line throughout the game.
And they're getting the ball inside, which is what I like. High percentage shots down on the block and in the paint area.
Favors plays the 4 with Cantor at the 5. Burke runs the show with Hayward at the 2. And it's Williams at the small forward position. That's the 5 on the floor for the Jazz. 4 on 3 as they bring it up. Bledsoe left side. Outside Butler. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Bledsoe's got 3 assists in the game. Clark and Steve, neither team with a big advantage here in the fourth quarter.
5 times we've had the lead switch so far. I mean, back and forth we go.
And I think that total could rise, Clark, because two evenly matched teams playing a tough game.
And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Alec Burks checked in for Utah. And we've played through about a minute here in the fourth. And here's Dragic. Kicks to Morris. Off target from outside. Jazz have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start the fourth quarter. Burks dishes to Burke. He feeds it to Burks. Cantor. Pass to Hayward. Shot clock at 6. Here's Burks. And good. He nails it. And now it's a 3-point Jazz lead.
And now both of these clubs really in a groove here.
Already a high-scoring game, but it has become an offensive showcase down the stretch.
And the Suns call time.
You know, he wants to tinker a little bit, and he's taking the time to do so right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just didn't like some of the things he saw out there, a bit uncomfortable, and wanted to talk it over.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Jeff Hornacek as he addressed his team. He laid out the X's and O's and told them, we're still alive, guys. We've just got to work together, trust each other, and play our backsides off. Kevin, we'll see if they've got enough in the tank to get over the top.
Outside Butler. And the pass to Bledsoe. Dishes to Dragic. Here's Morris. Off target from 3-point range.
Boy, have they been hitting the glass hard or what? Kind of surprising it's such a tight game.
Yeah, you're right. Very rarely will you out-rebound an opponent like that and not have it pay off.
Here's Burke. And Derek Favors with the slam.
Up and in with force after the offensive rebound. I like that tenacity.
Yeah, he is so sturdy. He just battles for every rebound.
Dragic kicks to Morris. Left side Butler. He dishes it to Gortat. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line.
In the second half, they made more of an effort to get it inside, and I like that. Be intentional. Be direct. Be aggressive. Force that ball in the paint.
That free throw good from Gortat.
Big play on the front end and finish, despite getting hacked, and big on the back end to knock down the free throw.
Utah calls timeout. They're leading by 2. 1:33 left in the game. .133 left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Cantor. Gortat with the block. Now Bledsoe. Pass to Morris. The 3. Good, and Bledsoe gets the assist. Bledsoe's got 4 assists now tonight. And a moment here to take a look at some of the hustle stats for the Suns.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
And also the steals. I mean, they've really been harassing the ball today, forcing mistakes, really turning that into their advantage.
So the first one drops, and that ties the game up. And so making both free throws, that'll give them the lead here.
Well, he didn't waste those opportunities, and that's just what they needed with the game this close.
Phoenix calls timeout. They're down by 1. We've got 1:08 left in the fourth quarter. Third minute of action now gone here in the fourth. Rockets the pass to Morris. The dish now to Butler. Defended by Hayward. Shot clock at 5. Here's Dragic from outside. Gets the 3 to fall.
Oh, that is a massive shot.
You know it is. He's stepping right into the spotlight.
Now here's Burke. He's guarded by Dragic.
Whoa, no. Listen to that.
That shot eliciting a roar from this gigantic crowd.
That was huge, guys. Absolutely huge.
Bledsoe outside. And Butler backing him in. There's the feed to Morris. Gortat inside. Got it!
They do have a foul to give here.
Yeah, you might see them use that at some point. I would.
Utah calls timeout. They're losing by 2. We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth. What's your take, guys?
Well, we'll see what they come up with. Plenty of time. If they execute, they should be able to get a good look here.
I agree with you, Steve, but I'd like to see him pound it inside and try to get to the rim.
We've got 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter. He kicks it to Burks. Inside to Favors. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
You know, he didn't need to make the layup complicated. I mean, it's not a trick shot contest, but he decided to go for a little extra flavor on that one.
He knocks down the clutch free throw. And the Suns call time here. They're behind by 1. Just 4 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What do you think, guys?
It's game time now, Kevin. Down 1. They've got enough time to make a couple of passes here to find the open man. But they've got to bury the shot to win the game.
Here's Dragic from outside. Oh, the all-or-nothing shot, no good. And so it's Utah who scraped by with the win. It was tight, but they managed to come up with the win.
You know, nobody wants to lose a close game, Kevin. It's much better to win those tight ones.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Steve, and Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan Player of the Game, Derek Favors.